Diddy just got hit with a 50-month federal prison sentence. But that's not the wild part. What's really freaking people out is that multiple criminal lawyers are saying he might not make it out alive. Yeah. The same man who once ruled hip-hop and lived like royalty could now be walking into a death trap. And the reasons behind it? Way darker than anyone expected. Let me break it down, because when I dug through the legal documents and expert interviews, I was stunned. Today we're covering 3 things. Why Diddy's lawyers pulled off a legal miracle, why insiders think his life is now in danger, and who the powerful people are that might want him silenced for good. So let's start with the courtroom drama. The judge sentenced Diddy to 50 months in federal prison, just over 4 years, for violating something called the Mann Act, which is basically transporting people across state lines for prostitution. Heavy, right? But here's where it gets crazy. He was acquitted of the big ones: sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, the charges that could have had him behind bars for life. His lawyers asked for 14 months. Prosecutors demanded 135. The judge split the difference and landed on 50 months. Sounds bad, but not when you realize what that really means. Criminal lawyer Bruce Rivers broke it down, calculator in hand. Take 50 months, multiply by 85%. That's about 42 months with good behavior. Subtract the 13 he's already done, and that's 29 months left. Knock off another 6 for halfway house time. That's around 2 years. 2 years. From life in prison to just 2 years? That's a massive win. Once he's out, though, the real punishment starts. Diddy's got 5 years of supervised release. Think probation, but on steroids. Random drug tests, no adult material, full monitoring on every phone and computer he touches. He can't leave the country, can't even move freely without approval, and for the next decade, he has to register as a sex offender. If he breaks a single rule, he goes straight back to prison. No warning, no excuses. Now, let's give credit where it's due. His legal team pulled off the impossible. The guy was staring down life. Instead, he's doing maybe 2 years. That's not luck. That's a legal masterclass. Even Suge Knight's lawyer called it impressive. But that's where the story turns dark. Because Diddy's freedom might not be what kills him, prison might. See, Diddy isn't some average inmate. He's a man with secrets, dangerous secrets. Tony Busby, the lawyer who represents over 120 alleged victims, said something that made everyone stop cold. "The day will come when we name names other than Sean Combs," he warned. And there are a lot of names. Let that sink in. Diddy's connected to powerful people, billionaires, executives, artists, people who can't afford for their names to come out. We all remember what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. He also knew too much. Diddy's situation is eerily similar, but there's a twist. Sources say Diddy has proof, videos, documents, receipts, and that could make him an even bigger target. Former mob boss Michael Franzese said something chilling. If Diddy was in the mafia, he'd already be gone. What he's accused of, even the mob wouldn't tolerate that. Think about that. A guy who spent decades in organized crime is saying what Diddy did crosses lines even gangsters wouldn't cross. That's how serious this is. And now Diddy's trying to pick his own prison, like it's a hotel booking. He requested Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution in New Jersey. Why? He says it's close to family and offers a drug rehab program called RDAP, which could shave time off his sentence. Sounds wholesome on paper, but former warden Dr. D. Wayne Hendricks isn't buying it. He said Fort Dix might be low security, but it's far from safe. With Diddy's fame and enemies, it's like dropping a lit match into gasoline. Franzese added, "Guys like Diddy walk a fine line in prison. Some people will want to befriend him for money or favors. Others will want to hurt him just to make a name for themselves. That's the scary part. For a celebrity, prison isn't just punishment. It's politics. One wrong word, one wrong move, and it's over." Now, let's talk about the courtroom moment that had everyone emotional. One of Diddy's lawyers, Nicole Westmoreland, broke down crying during her statement. Full tears, not a few sniffles. Reporters said the entire courtroom froze. Lawyers aren't supposed to cry, but there she was, sobbing, her voice cracking. No one knew if it was genuine or an act, but the ripple effect was immediate. Even some people in the audience teared up. Then came Diddy's children. 6 of his 7 kids stood before the judge, begging for mercy. Quincy said, "He's changed. He's our father. He'll never risk his freedom again. Justin said, "This time saved my dad's life." Christian, holding back tears, said, "He's my superhero. Please give him grace." And then came his daughters, Jesse, Chance, and Delilah. Their words shattered the room. Jesse said, "We lost our mom when we were young. Please don't take our dad too." Chance whispered, "We just need our father." And Delilah said through sobs, "We've already lost so much. Please, let us heal together." After that came the defense video, an 11-minute cinematic piece showing Diddy as a family man, a philanthropist, a mentor, him running marathons, speaking to kids, giving back. One reporter said it looked like a highlight reel of his best life. But when the judge finally spoke, his words cut through everything. A history of good works cannot erase the record in this case. Translation: no amount of image repair could save him. And here's where it gets dangerous again. Busby says he's got a list of people who encouraged, watched, or profited from Diddy's behavior. He calls them facilitators of foul play. And he's not just naming individuals, he's targeting corporations too. Hotels, banks, companies that looked the other way. He even hinted that some of those names will shock the world. There are rumors about Cassie's lawsuit being sent to Jay-Z's lawyers before going public. That raised questions about who knew what and when. Could big-name artists or execs be implicated next? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing's clear. A lot of people in Hollywood are sweating right now. Busby said, "These people should come forward before we name them." And he wasn't kidding. He added, "Right now, there are people deleting texts and wiping data. They know who they are." So where does that leave Diddy? Even after he serves his time, he's not free. For 5 years, the government will control every move he makes. They'll test him, track him, monitor him, and if he slips even once, he's done. A lawyer described it best. He gave the government full access to his life. They own him now. So let's recap. A global superstar goes from the mansion to the cell. He beats life in prison, but still might not survive 2 years behind bars. His lawyers saved him, but his secrets could destroy him. Now I've got to ask you, do you think Diddy's going to make it out alive? Or is this just the beginning of a much darker story? One that could take down some of Hollywood's most powerful names? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.